Hi, I'm Rose, and this is MndTalk from employer's perspective. Today we'll talk about data migration. Data is the new oil, some people say. Data is the world's most valuable resource. Data can be used to ensure companies' growth, and we can create valuable business information from it to forecast the future. But what happens when we have to move this huge value from one place to another? Why data migration is so important, and how can we do it well? Today's guest is Zoltán Fabian, the Head of Development at Clarity Consulting, who represents the new generation of IT software engineers. He is a CISA skill developer who is working on a data migration project and who will help us today to understand the risks and benefits of data migration. Let's see what solutions are available for this process. Hello Zoltán, and welcome to our studio, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi Rose, and thank you for having me today.
I think it would be beneficial to clarify at the very beginning that what data migration is really. So, do we have to go into a server room and save the data to some kind of data medium and then move it to another room and upload it to another server? Or how should we imagine this process?
Sometimes in rare cases this could happen when you just want to move whole virtual servers from one data center to another. But typically when we talk about migration, we think about a case when, let's say, a bank wants to replace its old core systems to new ones, because the old systems are hard to maintain, slow to develop, and it wants to have new ones instead of the old ones. And in this case, you have to extract all the data from the old systems, transform them. Maybe it would need some data cleansing also before putting it into the new system. And of course, the data structures and the data requirements could be different in new systems. You have to adjust everything to the requirements on the other side.
And I mentioned that some people say that data is one of the world's most valuable resource, and you are moving this huge volume from one place to another. So is there a chance that this data will be damaged or compromised during this operation?
Yes, this could be the case when data is extracted, when data is cleansed, or even when loaded into the new systems, because there are many transformations required to reach the level of the data structure or the quality in the new systems. So in this case, you have to have a lot of validations and a lot of processes in case that you can use to validate the quality of the data and the integrity. Otherwise, you will face some problems with the consistency in new systems, and you can easily reach a state when you will have systems without good data to operate with. So we try to approach this more like the transplantation, in medical science. You don't want to just put a new kidney in a patient and hope for the best, but you want it to operate perfectly like the old one.
And I also wanted to ask that I'm sure that many of our viewers are interested in what kind of product you are developing. So can you summarize it in a way that's understandable to everyone?
Yeah, this tool that we develop is not like a technical migration tool. It's not just solely for extracting and transforming and loading data known as ETL tools, but it manages the whole migration process, so the project. So in the focus is the processes that need to be done to finish successfully a migration project. So in this case, many roles and responsibilities should work together from inside the company. So the IT department, business analysts, project managers, even C-level executives need some information.
So it is a whole service. It's not just a tool. It's something more.
It could be considered as a service because, at an average company, migrations won't happen every year. They will face large migration projects in every 3 or 5 years when they are changing their core systems. But most of the times they don't have in-house expertise for migration. So they are better off with having some services that may include expert consulting and also a tool that is capable of managing the whole process.
And what makes a data migration service better than others? So how does your solution stand out from the rest? And what factors do companies consider when they are choosing tools or other partners? Is it time or cost or security? What factors are they?
I think companies think about the time requirements first.
Okay.
Because in every situation there is a deadline for doing the whole migration project. Most of the times they want to finish this project in a few months, but we see that in typical cases and considering large migration projects, this could last for a year. And this is because of inappropriate planning, because of working with multiple vendors, and with the improper delegation of responsibilities. This could lead to many cycles, many dry runs, as we talk about this, until you can reach a state where you have consistent data in the test environments before going live.
Okay, so time is essential, as I see, but what else? What other factors are very important when we are choosing a data migration tool?
So, in large and complex migration projects, many roles, many departments should work together. And considering that you were working with also multiple vendors from the source system side and also from the target system side, you will have to think over all the human resources requirements in this regard, because we see that in large migration projects, it could easily extend to even 50 FTEs or 50 FTE requirements for the whole project. And it's in this regard, it will matter if you can spare some 10 or 20% of this.
I wanted to ask that I know that it is a domestic challenge, and also we can say that it's a global problem. That it is labor shortage, and we know that. But how much does this market constraint hinder your growth? And how do you see, what do engineers look for in a job?
So our greatest problem is that great senior software engineers are not trained in schools. So most of the times we have to train them. We have to find them in the market, maybe at other software companies that are making softwares in a, let's say, software manufacturing way. And these senior developers often find themselves bored because they develop the same kind of software year after year.
Again and again.
And then we can offer some extra to them, because they can develop more complex systems like core banking systems, I mentioned CRMs or other transactional systems, and sometimes we can attract them and train them to be senior in our eyes. This is a bit different because we consider an engineer senior when he or she seen multiple industries, multiple core systems, large complexity systems, and not just the time he or she spent in the industry.
And I also wanted to ask that almost every Hungarian IT company faces the problem of international sales. And I saw on your website that you're trying to sell your product in the global market. So, but I guess that the breakthrough hasn't happened yet, is it right? What's the story?
We had our successes.
Okay.
And we thought about this about 5 or 6 years ago. because we saw that the Hungarian, or I can say that the Central European market is pretty limited.
Yeah.
So we thought that we could extend to an international market, but not with services, but rather with products. So we tried to put together a product line that is attractive to international clients, and thought that this data thing is emerging these days. So we put together those products that could help clients with data migration, with data lineage, and with the database analysis. So we had this product line ready. We went to an exhibition with this in Dubai.
Oh, wow, okay.
It was in 2017 or 18, I think. And then we found some partners. We had a local representation there in Dubai. And then we earned our first project in the Central Bank of Egypt. It was a clearing system introduction. And later we had a partner consulting company in Bahrain. We could cover this way Kuwait, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. And later we had a partner in Pakistan. And right now we are working on a project for a ministry in Kuwait.
Okay.
This is our data niche product called Dahlia. It is for database analysis and source code analysis.
Okay, so what do you see in the future? What's the plan, if there's any?
Yes, of course. We plan on continuing the business development. We try to extend in the region to other markets and find some local representations, because we believe that we shouldn't do some level 1 or level 2 support, and we don't know these markets as well as our partners could handle. And this is why we are planning on selling licenses and finding partners who can do the introduction part and do the support part, and we can act as a software manufacturing company in this regard. And this, of course, it is better in this COVID situation to find ways for working remote locations like this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing with us your knowledge and your time as well, because it's very valuable. So thanks for joining us, and I hope that we can work together in the future as well.
Thank you, Rose.
And dear Mindworkers, thank you for joining us today to learn about data migration, how to do it well and what to avoid. And we also mentioned some of the biggest problems of the IT companies nowadays. So we hope that you learned and got some useful advice for your work. And see you next time.